You can definitely tell that I haven't filmed like a proper sit-down video in ages, because it took me like 15 minutes to find my tripod and then sort out where I'm going to film in my room. It is quite gloomy, which is fitting for this video. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would ease myself back into making videos and filming a TBR. I hadn't created a TBR in probably in a year or so, but it is a special occasion because I have decided to finally come back and participate in Victober, because it's the 10th anniversary, and also my life has been just so rubbish recently that I just need Victorian literature to cheer me up. I just need some like really comforting Victorian reads. And then I started to seeing all the announcement videos and TBRs coming up, and I was like, why not to film a TBR and attempt to join, even though I don't know if I'm going to read all of these, because like I said, following a TBR sounds a little bit frightening at the moment. Victober is a month-long readathon where we read Victorian literature. I have been hosts for a couple of years, and then when I kind of stopped making videos, I didn't want to continue being a host. But yeah, I'm just going to talk to you about the books I'm going to be reading for this readathon. And we have 10 prompts, and then you can kind of like double up with challenges. I'm not completely sure how I'm going to use these books for the prompts, because we have quite many that I still don't have figured out, like read a Victorian work where friendship features. So when I'm going to be reading these books, I'm going to see if they fit any of the prompts. So I try to not to focus too much on the prompts, but I also did watch through the wonderful announcement videos and all the recommendation for the videos. So I did choose to like ebooks and audiobooks that wasn't necessarily what I was planning to read before watching the announcement videos. Let's start with the stack of books I have for here. So I'm aiming to read 5 Victorian books, because I will be reading other books besides from Victorian books probably, because my work, I'm doing PhD, so I have to read a lot for my work as well. So there will be a lot more reading, and I think I will still want to read some lighter books in between, because I haven't read a lot of classics, like a lot of heavy classics in ages. So I think it will also take me some time to get used to the reading style and the writing style of these books. So firstly, we have Sheridan Le Fanu's Madame Crow's Ghost and Other Stories. So this is a collection of short stories, horror stories. I have read Carmilla by Sheridan Le Fanu, and I remember getting this book for Victober years ago, and I didn't manage to read it. I'm really excited to read some like really atmospheric short stories. And then we have Anthony Trollope's Lady Anna. I picked this up in Rome in February, and I absolutely love Anthony Trollope. I haven't read any of his books for ages. I love his Barchester Chronicles, and I have read I think every time I have joined Victober, I have either read a book from the Chronicle of Partridgeshire or an individual novel, and I also love his individual novels quite a bit. I think like how the book is blurbed here makes me really interested. I'm going to read just a little chunk of it. So, when it appeared in 1874, Lady Anna met with little success and positively outraged conservative readers, but Trollope considered it one of his best novels and staunchly defended it. It is a tightly constructed and passionate study of enforced marriage in the world of radical politics and social inequality. I remember maybe Kate Howe talking about this and loving this. So I'm definitely hoping that I will get into this. And then I have a book that I started for last Victober. I got like maybe 20 pages in, and I also started this in the end of last year and didn't manage to get through like only 20 pages of it, but that is Man and Wife by Wilkie Collins. I have really enjoyed Wilkie Collins' novels. I have read The Woman in White and Moonstone. This sounds like an adventure and like really gothic, really thrilling. So Man and Wife examines the plight of a woman who, promised marriage by one man, comes to believe that she may have inadvertently have gone through a form of marriage with his friend. That sounds really intriguing, but also this is a chunk of a book. I do have this also on my Kindle, and I have been loving reading stuff on my Kindle recently, especially when I'm going through insomnia. So it calms me down in the evening and in the night to read my Kindle in bed without lights on. So I might also, like, if it feels a bit threatening to read this like in a physical format, I might also try to use the Kindle. So those are like the physical ones, and then I chose one ebook and then one audiobook because I really also wanted to listen to a Victorian audiobook. So for audiobook I chose Mrs. Seacole, The Wonderful Adventures of Mrs. Seacole in Many Lands. This is a non-fiction book. I think it's a memoir. At least Katie talked about this in her video. It sounds really intriguing, and also as an historian I'm also always interested of reading how people perceived at the era that they were living in, and this just sounds really interesting. I don't know a lot about this, but I did choose an audiobook for this, and I will be focusing on mainly when it comes to audiobook listening with this, because I'm hoping I will do a little bit like crafting, but I also will be doing probably a lot of baking, a lot of cooking, a lot of walking, so I'm pretty sure I will get through this audiobook. And then lastly I have Charlotte Mary Yonge's Heartsease. I have read Charlotte Mary Yonge's I can't, The Heir of Redcliffe? Maybe. I remember really loving it. Yeah, I just wanted to pick up something little bit more like obscure and underrated, because I have read like a good chunk of all the like really popular Victorian novels. I decided to choose stuff that I haven't read from my shelves, but also find something that you can probably only find from Kindle. So I found Heartsease free. So that is a good selection of books. I hope so. I'm not going to be joining on the group read. It is Hester by Margaret Oliphant. I have actually read Hester. I remember that I didn't like it, if I remember correctly. So I'm not going to be reading something that I have read before. I have a bad habit of always choosing books for Victober that I have read before, and I kind of don't want to do any rereading this month. So this is also speaking to myself, like I'm not going to be listening to Jane Eyre again or reading Jane Eyre again, because I did so last year and I'm not going to do that this year. This is my TBR. I'm not making any promises, but I really hope I will make some like reading vlogs for Victober, because I just truly miss the community of Victober and all the excitement, but also life is quite busy, life is quite heavy. I have a lot of like health struggles, life struggles, so I'm not completely sure how actively I will be participating in video format, but in spirit and in reading, definitely. So I would really love to know if you are going to be participating in Victober, and yeah, I hope to see you very soon.